aloha in our day. Spread a little aloha around the world at breakfast with Bob.
Thank you, Poncho Man. Welcome back to Breakfast with Bob, our Nice World Championship edition. My name is Bob Babbitt. We are brought to you by Master Spas as fuels go longer, HOKA Fly Human Fly, Deboer Wetsuits, Quintana Roo, and of course our Challenged Athletes Foundation just got back from Paris. We had 127 of our grantees participating in Paris at the Paralympics. Came back with lots of medals. If CF was a country, we would have ended up sixth in the medal count. So we're very excited about that. Our next guest, defending 2023 Ironman World Champion, 2021 Ironman 70.3 World Champion, 2019 Challenge Roth Champion, four-time Ironman World Championship silver medalist, the great Lucy Charles-Barclay joins us. Luce, how you doing?
Hey, Bob. Yeah, I'm doing really good. It's great to chat with you again.
Always a pleasure. So I saw in London, you had issue with the Achilles. Is that all healed up?
Yeah, it's doing okay. I think, well, it's all linked to the injury that I sustained in Kona last year. So it's been an ongoing process of keeping it strong, doing the right strength and conditioning, managing the running. And it's all a bit of a jigsaw puzzle. And if I get it wrong, it's really unhappy. If I get it right, then it's great. So yeah, it's just been managing that. And it seems to be doing okay at the moment, touch wood. So yeah, hopefully it will stay that way.
So before the season, the plan was not to do Ironman World Championship in Nice. It's such a different course. It requires so much different training. Plus, I'm sure you were thinking, oh, the Achilles, is that going to be an issue with that? What made you decide, okay, you know what? It's a world championship. I'm the defending champion. I need to be there.
Yeah, I think the season definitely got off to a better start than I anticipated. And I kind of had a little bit of a break and I was like, oh, there's this perfect opportunity to go and race Ironman France on the same course as the World Championships and validate my slot. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll just do it. It was one of those things where I was like, I think I'm going to regret this if I don't at least give myself the opportunity to be on that start line. And I think definitely now sat here, we're like a week out from the race and I'm so excited to take part in this World Championship. It's going to be so different. So yeah, I think it was a really good decision. And I think definitely as the reigning champ, you feel like you need to be there. And it was definitely a course that scared me a little bit, but I think you should do things that scare you. It pushes you out of your comfort zone. It makes you a better athlete. So yeah, I think it's going to be a great race.
And when you go there and you win the race and you run a 2:49 marathon off the bike, it's funny. I was looking the other day, when I look at your progression in running, it just shows you the importance of patience, right? I think in 2017 in Kona, 308, 2018, 305, 2019, 305 again, 2022, 302, patience. And then when you win it, 257. So, I mean, that's hard yards. That's putting the time and effort in and not looking for an immediate fix, which seems to be that's sort of what makes you tick. Is you're all about the hard training, the long training, and nothing's going to happen overnight. What did you gain from the Ironman Nice race, running 2:49? I'm guessing that's your fastest marathon off the bike. What did you gain from that day?
Yeah, I definitely gained a lot of confidence. I think the whole kind of, I guess, process of doing the race was just to learn as much as possible. But I really wanted to have a really positive experience because I knew that I needed that kind of for my mindset coming back for the World Championship. So it was about enjoying the day, learning, taking as much in. And I definitely achieved that. I feel like the atmosphere there was amazing. So I can only imagine it's going to be even better when we go back for the World Championships. But it's a great run course. It's one that can definitely deliver fast times, but it's offer extremely challenging bike course. So you have to manage your effort well on the bike to do a good run off of it. So yeah, it definitely gave me a lot of confidence. My watch actually didn't work on that run either. So I ran it entirely on feel. And I think that's something that as a swimmer, we used to train and race only on feel because you never had any data feedback of what splits you were doing, what power you were pushing. So I think it's something I have in me as a swimmer to kind of just trust that feel and know that you're going the right pace. So I think whilst I will definitely opt to use pace at the World Championships, it's nice to know I just have a good feeling of what feels right.
it is a great course for someone like yourself, who's obviously the best swimmer in the sport, and also is a great cyclist, because you're a little out of sight, out of mind. It's you don't people don't see you on that bike course, so they really don't know how. Like when you were racing there in these, and you're off by yourself, how fun was that? Just knowing, okay, I have no idea where anybody is, but they have no idea where I am either. So that's sort of a cool thing.
Yeah, it definitely adds to the excitement because you're just thinking, yeah, how far away can I get so I'm out of sight and no one knows where I am. And I think a part of that with this race is that none of us women have raced together on this course. So it's not like when we go back to Kona year on year and you start to learn, oh, there's usually this kind of gap to this athlete out the swim, but then they ride like this, so the gap before the run is this. Whereas we're all going in quite blind. We have no idea what anyone's tactic is, how they're going to play their cards. So I think it's just going to be really exciting because it's a complete unknown for all of us. And yeah, it should be one that people are going to be really excited to watch because no one knows what's going to happen.
It's funny. I was just chatting with Annie Hogg, and again, like you said, you guys don't have any history racing each other on that course. When you watched her at Challenge Roth going, 8:02 and running under 2:40, I mean, you must be thinking, oh my God, she is in a different realm right now.
Yeah, I mean, I loved watching that. I was so excited. I was like, is the 8 hour mark going to get broken today? So secretly quite glad it hasn't happened yet. So we all have another opportunity to do it. But yeah, it was phenomenal to see her do that. And if she can deliver a performance like that in Nice, then we're all in for a really, really tough day.
So going back to the high point of the career, winning Ironman World Championship last year, was it just one of those days where you felt just, I'm on top of it, everything feels wonderful?
It definitely felt like that on the swim and the bike. It very quickly unraveled on the run. And obviously I was in quite a lot of pain from about mile 1 in my calf, which then made it a really brutal marathon. But I think as someone who had been second 4 times, I was like, I think no matter how much pain I'm in, it's going to hurt more to come second again. So yeah, I think aside from that, it would have been the perfect day. I think in my career, my most perfect day would definitely be the 70.3 Worlds win. I dream of having a day like that on the full Ironman. I think that would be unbelievable. So yeah, I still believe it's in there for one day in my career, but yeah, who knows when it will happen.
Well, we were out there watching that 70.3 World Championship, and it's wet, and it's, that there was actually thunder and lightning, and you guys are running those downhills crazy. I'm sitting there going, just don't fall down, don't fall down. Those were so steep. Those downhills were so steep, and then adding the water to it. Like you said, it was like one of those days that was perfect for you. But were you running down those hills? Were you a little worried as well?
Yeah, well, I remember seeing you, Bob, on the really steep downhill right near the end, and I knew I was coming into the finish, and the only thing going through my mind was just do not fall over now. Like, just take it a little bit easier because it's okay, just don't fall. But yeah, that was a crazy day when that storm rolled in, and it felt like something in the universe was like not going to let me have that win. So yeah, it was a crazy day.
Very cool. And like it said, this year you kick off with second in Miami T100, second in Singapore T100. At this point, you're thinking, I'm more of a long distance person, but look at it, I'm killing it at this distance that's not supposed to be great for me. That helped give you the confidence to go to Nice.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like I said, it kind of just the season got off to a slightly better start than I anticipated, and I really enjoyed racing over that T100 distance. But I think I just remembered what got me into the sport, and that was the challenge and the slight fear and excitement of doing an Ironman. And I was like, actually, I don't want to turn my back on that. I feel like that's who I am as an athlete. I want to do something that scares me and excites me, and the course in Nice definitely did that. So yeah, I think it's one of those things where I'm going to be super just happy that I'm on the start line in a week's time because I went and did that Ironman.
Looking back on it now, I'm sure, getting 4 silvers in Kona is never, it's great, but at the same time, it's just one of those things that you're going, am I ever going to get over the hump? Having those 4 silvers and having those 4 chances to win, but not winning, did it make the win that much better for you?
Yeah, definitely. It was such a journey. And obviously, we had a pandemic thrown in the middle of that as well.
Yes.
It made it even longer a wait to get that win. And every time I raced, it was a slightly different experience. It was a different athlete chasing me down. And I'd always had a really great race, but it just didn't equate to that win. So to finally put the day together where I could get that win and still have to overcome a lot in the race was just unbelievable. But it's been an amazing learning experience of patience, like you said earlier with the running. It's just believing in yourself, trusting in the process, and knowing that one day it will happen. You've just got to keep working and keep trusting in your team and yourself. And yeah, just you will make it happen.
The pandemic was not something anybody wants to go through again, but the positive was that you're able to pile workouts after workouts after workouts on each other and not be traveling and recovering from racing, and you could just build a base that can carry you for a long time. You guys seem to embrace that more than most, where you just went into the pain cave and just worked, knowing that eventually we're going to be racing again, and when we do race, we're going to be ready.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was a crazy experience. I think we spent about 8 weeks living in the pain cave, sleeping in the boxing ring, and just, yeah, like you said, we didn't go too hard on the training. We just knew we just need to be consistent during this time. We don't need to do crazy things. But I remember we had a really good group that we would all go on Zwift together once a week and do a long ride. And then they also set up the Z Pro series, which was fantastic because it gave us a weekly goal to still race each other online. So it ended up that we actually came out the other side quite fit, but also we felt quite fresh and really excited for racing to come back because we've missed it so much.
How are you a different athlete from 12 years ago? We're talking 2012, missing the Olympic team in both the 10K swim and the 1500. How are you a different athlete today?
I think the main difference today is, although I obviously really wanted to do it then, it feels like now I'm obviously so much older and I'm the only one making me do this. So I'm only doing it because I love it. Whereas then there was other things, but you're younger, you feel like you have to do it because the coach is telling you need to, or you just want to make sure your parents are happy because you know they're driving you to the pool every morning, every night, and giving up so much time. So the difference now is I drive myself to the pool because I want to be there. I do this training because I want to. And yes, I have amazing sponsors and the team around me that are helping me, but I know that they're just fully committed to helping me get to be the best athlete I can. So I'd say that's the biggest difference. I wouldn't say as an athlete I'm much more different. I definitely am very similar in how I used to train then and fully dedicated to my program. But yeah, maybe just evolved a little bit as I've got older.
So what would it mean to you to win back-to-back Ironman World Championship titles?
I mean, I almost don't want to think about it. I think the crazy thing is because I won the Ironman France this year, I feel like I can visualize it so well because I ran the finish shoot in the lead. So I kind of get goosebumps thinking about that because I could visualize that happening. But in Ironman, it's such a long day. Anything can happen. This is a unique course where so many things can happen. So I think my main goal is just to be on the start line healthy, be there happy, and just enjoy it as much as possible because that's what I did in June and I had a great result. So if I can enjoy the day, I think it will be a good result.
It was interesting. I was chatting with Chelsea Sodero and talked about, she was a professional runner and had stress fractures and couldn't make it. Couldn't make it. She was at the top level, but couldn't break through. But when she did it in triathlon, she said, I was ready for it. I was already a professional athlete. So when it did come my way in this other sport, I was ready for it. And I was able to go get my sponsors and because it wasn't like I was a raw rookie at this. The fact that you went through that whole Olympic process, were you more ready for the success that you've had as a professional triathlete?
Yeah, definitely. And swimming is such a tough sport as well. You work so hard for very little reward. And I think that was the kind of, it just felt unbelievable when you came into triathlon. There was so many more opportunities to race, different distances, different brands that wanted to work with you. It almost just felt like a kid in a candy shop in this sport that I really wanted to be good at, but the main thing was, like I said, just to enjoy it. And I definitely was absolutely loving it, having as much fun as possible. So, and I don't think I could have dreamt of how much triathlon has grown in that time that I've been in the sport as well, how much female athletes have pushed this sport to new heights, and the level that we are all racing at is just unbelievable. So we're proving that this is a real sport, and you have to train incredibly hard to put down the performances that we all do.
So the woman who was in front of you a few times at Kona, Daniela Reef, just announced her retirement, and you got to know Daniela. She was very happy for you winning last year. I always look at the person who wins the Ironman as the person who represents the sport, and Daniela Reef did a phenomenal job representing the sport. What memories do you take from your battles with her and just of her as a person?
Yeah, I mean, we had so many amazing battles, particularly in Kona year after year. And she's definitely the person that has pushed me to raise my game in the sport. I don't think I'd be the athlete I am without having raced Daniela, and her being such a true sportswoman as well, like so professional, a lovely person, super friendly off the race course, but then a fierce competitor on the race course. So yeah, it was sad to hear she was retiring and we wouldn't get to have one more battle in Nice. I was looking forward to that, but I think she's definitely going to be here cheering us all on, which will be special to have her on that side of the race course. But she's going to be greatly missed racing for sure.
Lucy, have a great race in Nice. I'm really excited to watch how you do. Thank you for, as like I said, the person who is the Ironman World Championship represents the sport, and you represent the sport and have done a phenomenal job of doing just that. Thank you for everything you do for the sport.
Oh, thanks so much, Bob. Always a pleasure chatting to you too.
Lucy Charles-Barclay has been our guest again. Breakfast with Bob, our Nice World Championship edition. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll catch you next time. See ya.